Today, Precarious plays
Hades. You know what? We should just talk about. All right. Okay.
I guess I got it. Okay. I'm sorry.
Is that safe to do? Is that fine?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand how electronics and magnets work anymore. Let's start with this. No, this is good. Keep this in. I insist. I've got a phone case, which has always made me a little suspicious of what's happening because it has a magnetic strip to keep the cover closed. It turns it into functionally my favorite part of old flip phones or the Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah, where like you can close the screen off so
Yeah.
that it doesn't get touched.
Yeah, or even the 3DS is the same way. The DS was the same way. Yeah, I love armadillo electronics that can fold in to keep themselves safe and secure and armored.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember being in elementary school and a friend discovered that if you hold a magnet to the CRT, are they CRT? I mean, I guess what else would they be? To an old computer monitor, it would distort the colors. And we both stood there and we were like, wow, that's amazing. And the only reason why we didn't get in trouble is because when it was my turn, I was like, oh man, but it's sort of stuck that way. How can we fix it? Like, there's got to be a way to put it back using the same system. And I discovered that if you could guide the damage that we were inadvertently causing to the edge of the monitor with a magnet, so it would be very difficult to perceive, if not, maybe it was eliminated entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just sort of like my expectation of how magnets intersect with electronics. And you're stacking our phones up over there, and I'm like, no, that's not, because the magnets but wait, because the magnets are there, so it would be damaging my phone if it was a problem. So I guess it's fine.
It's funny how those things get ingrained, because I'm also from that era where magnets plus electronics equals bad.
I've heard that your reports have been immaculate of late, Hypnos. I have to know, who's helping you with them? It can't be Zagreus.
Oh, no, he doesn't help. It's just, I took to listing only the important stuff up top and spending just a bit more time on the priority reports, and guess it's working out.
Mm-hmm.
Hypnos is a bit of a screw-up.
Yeah.
We've come in well past that point, though.
Mm-hmm.
Look, whatever the case, the work's improved. It's been observed. You ought to keep it up.
Aww.
Aw, thanks.
Good work.
Gosh.
I knew you could do it.
Everything is as it always was.
What were you saying?
I was, where's the dog?
Oh, sometimes Cerberus isn't there.
Oh, like a real dog.
Yeah, I mean, that's true of all of the characters. Like, Thanatos was in the hall, so not the best example.
Mm-hmm.
But this is technically like his space if he's not talking to a different character.
Yeah.
I find him to be absent quite often.
So, last time we played, I feel like we were just barely scratching the surface of things, but I don't remember exactly what we scratched last.
We had just completed a run.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite fortunate timing.
Mm-hmm.
We just came back to the House of Hades. So my plan right now is to do another episode here because I think there will probably be enough conversations to have for an episode. And then the goal is to try to do what I intended initially, which is to do Tartarus and Asphodel as one 15-minute episode, and then Elysium and Styx as a second, assuming I make it to the end. So I should explain before we go any further. I was coming off of a hot streak where I was playing Hades like a lot of Hades. Now I haven't played since the last time we recorded this. My goal is to end today's session having done all of the conversing out here in the prince's room, so I can play as much as I want and then use the give up option to revert back to that exact same point. So I can warm up in that way. But here I wasn't sure like where the autosave happens, and I didn't want to miss out on the problem that I'm facing now is that I don't really know like where the narrative payloads are. They're buried like landmines.
Yeah.
So this could finally be it. I could talk to Persephone and Hades right now, and they could be like, okay, here it is. We've got a plan. We've got a plan to smooth things out with Olympus. And I would love to have that part recorded. But I have no idea where it is.
So like you haven't played even to practice because you were worried that you would trigger some story stuff.
Right. Like possibly like the last really significant story stuff that the game has.
I think it's cute that Cerberus's bedding has rainbow buttons.
Oh, that's all me. I put that one there. Here,
you put that bed there?
Yeah.
Can you get the dog more stuff? Can you get the goodest boy all of the things?
Where are they? One, I think this is a weird little flaw, but I feel like the triggers are wasted in this menu because you can use R1 and L1 to scan through the categories, but you can't use R2 and L2 to
go up and down.
Yeah, skip quickly through them.
Okay.
But yeah, here's the quilted bed. And there's the fancy bed, which I don't like as much. And there's no bed there at the start of the game. It's just open ground. Time to converse.
It seems Achilles had a complicated arrangement with your father. I understand you simplified things for the better there, and he was able to visit Elysium at last. Well done.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. He more than deserved it.
Okay.
Boy, why did you screw up the arrangement I had with Achilles?
Lost a very good worker.
You altered one of my own pacts without so much as seeking my consent, undoing terms that were agreed upon. Do you intend to undermine everything in this house, boy? Or only me?
Only you, father. Good thing I've inherited some of your fate-given authority being your son and all. Otherwise, some of your most loyal subjects would be bound by exploitive terms for eternity.
So Zagreus is like... I don't know why I'm only just now thinking about it, but he's really like the second generation bleeding heart moneyed individual, right?
Oh yeah, because he's very privileged, doesn't have to do much.
But he has empathy for the people around him, so he's like, no, father, we're going to donate 65% of all of our profits to people in need.
Terms that they chose themselves. Terms to the benefit of this house. What if Achilles were to leave his post for the green pastures of Elysium? What then?
You could find a replacement. But it's a pointless question anyway, because he's here. He isn't leaving. He might even do better at his job now that he has increased ability to step away from it.
A naive hope at best. The more you step away from your responsibilities, the less you shall want anything to do with them.
Yeah, that's definitely old philosophy versus new philosophy. Like, just how people think about work these days. It's like, okay, I know that it sounds like you should really chain everyone to their desks, but did you know that humans like work? Video games would be proof. You know? Like, video games are a lot of work. It's just deeply satisfying. So you do it.
I think that it's also interesting because they've already sort of gotten to a kind of society endgame. Where everybody is immortal.
Yeah, everybody's already dead. So it's not like they have to pay for their existence because they can't not exist.
Yeah, unless there's some sort of ultimate end that they can go to down here. You sort of like fade into one of the many rivers.
No, we know that's not true because Hades was grousing about how he had to take care of everyone forever.
Yeah, but maybe he's just assuming that, or maybe it's not very common. Maybe maybe not very many people, maybe not very many shades willingly like fade into non-existence.
Sir, you're back. How was it in Elysium? Was everything all right?
It went well, lad. As well as I could have hoped. Better than I might have feared. Hey, don't take Patroclus calling you stranger personally, all right? He has less charitable terms for those he doesn't care for.
Come on, Achilles, I want details here. What happened with you two, if you don't mind?
Haha, well, thankfully, your efforts meant that no words really needed to be said when I arrived. He simply said my name. Then we just...
Aww.
Two souls, together in one spot. The way shades linger. It looks mournful, right? But it isn't always.
That's wonderful to hear. He seemed uplifted in your presence. You must have lots of catching up to do.
Lots of making up for lost time. And finally we have some time to spare. It's odd, because so many of my memories of him are from a time of war. Now we can make new memories, in peace. Anyway, see you out there again sometime, I hope.
Count on it, sir.
Did you get?
The codex was updated? I wonder if it was for Achilles or... it was for Patroclus.
Sounds like broccoli.
Patroclus. Bum, 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 bum. Oh. And he even says that he took sips occasionally. See, this is sort of what I was interpreting. I thought that this was a more... was perhaps... I thought that he was speaking sort of metaphorically, I guess. It's hard to describe. He mentions that there's a river, Lethe, I think, is how you pronounce it. And it is a river in Elysium that you can drink from and it makes you forget.
Oh.
And I thought that I don't know, maybe it's just because I view so much of a person as what they remember, you know? So I took that to mean like, that's how you can consign yourself to oblivion, is you just forget everything. And then in my mind, I took it one step further and it's like, oh, and then you disappear, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, what's left of you if your body is gone and then your memories go too?
Yeah.
But that, I guess that's not necessarily the case. Ooh, Nyx.
I saw Achilles with Patroclus and Elysium next. They're free to be together now, thanks to you. If only you could have seen them.
Aw.
Oh, I can see them, my child, and I have. And it pleases me Achilles has earned some degree of respite from his servitude, for all his loyalty to our house. For what you have done for him, thank you.
So...
Father isn't going to be thrilled I've let him out of a binding pact.
Nyx is your stepmother.
Yes.
And what is she right now?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you brought your mom back. Is your mom just hanging out?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, there are two women for Hades?
No, I think that Hades and Nyx, while I'm pretty sure she adopted like the role of like Queen of the Underworld. I don't think that they were ever really like romantically entangled in any sense, like a mortal conception or a godly, like a divine one.
Okay. So
because Nyx was, I don't know how how this intersects with the source myth.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently Nyx was Lord of the Underworld all on her own before Hades arrived and essentially usurped her position. But she didn't seem to care. She is almost as old as Chaos. Just based on like age, I think it's like Chaos, Nyx, the Titans maybe, and then all of like the more familiar big name gods like your Zeus and your Hades and your Poseidon.
All these kids.
Yeah. So I think it's
okay. So she's the founder, and then they got a new CEO, so she could go do other stuff.
Yeah, and everybody. She's basically just like the house supermom because everybody. I think Achilles and the Codex says that everybody calls her Mother Night. Just no matter what. But I don't know. Hold on. You know what?
Your father is committed to his rules, and you've released Achilles from his pact according to those rules. There is not much that even he can do about it, save to have Achilles sign again.
Don't see Achilles doing that anytime soon.
Mother Night, as we like to call her, though rare is the occasion when she dotes on us. She has many, many children to look after, many of whom now reside in the locales beyond my reckoning, and perhaps beyond hers. So, yes. They tolerate each other in respect of one another's power in reference to Hades. She could have made the Master's life eternally more difficult down here if she so chose, had every right to, perhaps, when her own daughters, the Fates, determined that the Master ought to govern where once she alone presided. But Mother Night does not possess a mortal's pridefulness, and her commitment to the underworld and her children is absolute.
Yeah, founder. Kids elected a new board president or whatever.
What do you think of all the lounge decor there, Meg? Looking a little better these days, wouldn't you say?
You know, it isn't bad. Though I have heard the strangest thing. That you're responsible for all of this. I couldn't understand why you would even bother, honestly.
For this exact scenario.
Yeah, just to talk to you,
Well, it's a
Megara.
popular locale for off-duty underworld officers to take a load off between shifts, and so I figure least I could do is pitch in and make the place a little better than I left it, right?
How very selfless of you, Zagreus. Soon, doubtless, it'll be your portrait hanging on that wall back there.
Oh no, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Meg.
I think that's on the extra.
Did you just make like the nicest break room ever?
Well, it is at the start of the game. I think it's the only one that's damaged. It's sort of like the tutorial for the house contractor system because Cerberus tears it up.
Oops.
Yeah, one of the first things you have to do is pay to have the fur removed.
Oh.
And all of the deep gashes buffed out. Hey!
Megara, the featured servant of the house.
How very thoughtful, I guess.
I don't think I've ever seen her be house servant. This is an adorable little detail. So before, I think it's Persephone.
Yeah.
That's responsible for this. Earlier in the game, I think it still has the cute little gold star, but it really is just the big central image.
That board there in the middle?
Yeah, this is the employee of the month.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling now.
But once Persephone comes back to the house, that's when like the row of stars and the happy little like double thumbs up shade is added to the top, and there's like a key, and it looks like there are like runner-up images on the right side.
Yeah, like best dressed, most clean, spoopiest, greenest.
Everybody gets, it's a little something. We see you, Shades.